In the Dark. Written by Connor Cooper. Chapter 14. The Masquerade Symphony Arc, Part 3. Since her sudden return, Sansa has been worried about her friends back on Earth. Sure, they must be fine, but still. She could remember being at her desk with her biology exam paper right before her, then suddenly, boom. It was like an individual chain wrapped around her waist, yanked her through the classroom window and out of the front school grounds, where she felt her arm break from the immediate impact. She was then quickly pulled into the mirror and fired out of the mirror back into Equestria, being flung like a rag doll to the ground, where she was met by the familiar gold-plated armor of the Solar Guard rushing to aid her. After that, it was off to the medical wing of the castle, and from there it was one thing after another. The attack on the Crystal Empire, a terrible trio's attack, and the sudden collapse of the cave system around Camelot. Not only that, but there has been one other thing. Not really a thing, but a person. Salem Grey. The man who saved her and her friends hide from the terrible trio and who has been busy for these past few days. He was also from Earth if what Twilight told her was true. But from what she was told of his past, there were many things she's never heard of before on her time on Earth. The SCP Foundation, monsters that can be somewhere while not being there at the same time, the sun turning every living thing into melted flesh zombies that sought to spread itself. Well, actually she did hear a rumor about an app that could apparently...
Hey guys, look who I found standing about in his fancy new duds.
Rainbow Dash announced to the group. Speak of the devil himself. The Chimera stood before them donned in a red and black two-piece suit that had been designed by the one and only Rarity for her creative talent. The suit was different, having a black coat with a red stripe pattern along with a red shirt finished with a black tie. Simple but clever design on Rarity's end, for it matched his strange mismatched fur pattern in a way that blended nicely with the coat's design. The mask, however, wasn't made by Rarity, but by the famous mask maker, Taskmask. The mask he wore matched his appeal's colors, but there was something about it. The mask was twisted, yet clean, somber, yet lively. Something about it felt familiar, but she couldn't put her finger on it.
Wow, I'll be a Diamond Doug's uncle. You must be Milo we've heard so much about.
Applejack noticed, causing Sunset and her friends to spot the masked lady next to him. The group greeted the impossible lady she was told about by none other than Pinkie Pie. His partner, Milo, wore a gorgeous dress that matched his suit and mask, wearing a mask of her own that seemed to be a mirrored version of his, yet different as she was to him. Despite the small differences, the similar feeling she had when looking at Salem's mask was right there when she stared at Milo's own mask.
Sunset, I do believe the two of you haven't properly met.
Twilight smiled to introduce the two.
Salem, this is our friend Sunset Shimmer. Sunset, this is Salem Grey, the one that saved our butt a few days back, remember?
Sunset gave a small smile with a nod.
Yep, I remember. Nice to finally meet you, big guy.
Sunset offered a hand in greeting, and Salem gladly accepted the handshake.
Likewise. I like your mask,
Salem complimented.
Thanks. Although Taskmask didn't make mine, I did try my best.
Sunset stated while Salem nodded.
You made yours?
Salem asked.
Yepers.
Sunset answered. Milo tapped Salem's shoulder, which the Chimera chuckled while holding out a hand to his partner.
And this lovely lass is Milo, my partner. I don't know if you're aware, but she isn't all that... What is the best word for it?
Visible?
Yes, that works.
Salem nodded in agreement.
Pinkie Pie told you.
Sunset answered Salem's question with a smile. Crossing her arms, she looked up at the tall, altered human.
I'll be honest, Salem. When the gang told me about you, I thought you would look a lot more... less fluffy.
Salem's right ear twitched at that, which made Milo give a silent snicker at Sunset's comment.
Well, that's the kind of thing I don't believe is appropriate to speak of at this event.
Noticing Salem place a hand behind his neck, Sunset flinched thinking she had offended him.
I'm so sorry. I didn't know it was a touchy subject.
No, it's fine.
Salem held out his hands.
I simply don't want to sour this party.
Oh, hello. A new yet familiar voice spoke from behind Salem and Milo. Sunset knew that voice all too well. Ever since she was Celestia's student, there was one person she did her best to avoid. Even after all these years, she recognized that voice like a foul smell you wish to forget. Salem and Milo turned to the voice that spoke up from behind them, causing the duo to realize who the voice belonged to. Greetings, my lady. I am Prince Blueblood of the royal family, and I must say, you look quite appealing this evening. The entitled prince spoke to Milo with a tone in his voice that made Salem snarl behind his mask. May I know your name, madame? Milo, of course, didn't answer, while Blueblood stood there standing behind his pure gold mask. For a few moments and not receiving an answer from the prince, the look in his eyes changed from desire to disapproval. It is disrespectful to not answer the question from a prince. Blueblood spoke, annoyed by Milo's silence. Rolling her eyes, Milo turned away from the Blueblood to Salem.
You think Luna wouldn't mind if I kicked him in the dick?
Salem chuckled while Milo signed. This caused Blueblood to be flustered by not knowing what was happening, while the Chimera laughed. Don't turn your back on me, bitch! Blueblood reached for her, but Salem's sharp reflexes snapped out, grabbing his wrist. Keep your hands away from her, Salem warned, towering over Blueblood, who looked up at Salem with disgust. How dare you! Get your filthy claws off me, mutt! I'll have you know that I... Yeah, you're Prince Blueblood. We met before. And besides, I heard you the first time. You don't need to repeat yourself over 100 times like a broken record. Salem looked down at Blueblood. And honestly, I don't give a rat's ass who you are. Keep away from my partner. I'm only gonna say this once. You dare threaten a member of the royal family in our very halls? I will have you imprisoned for this. It wasn't a threat. It was a promise. The nerve of you! Somebody get the guards! I'm being attacked! Blueblood shouted, causing many eyes to turn their attention to the two.
Salem?
A familiar voice spoke, drawing the attention of both parties. Princess Luna stood between the two while giving a disappointed look at both involved. She gave a sigh from behind her ebony-colored mask.
Salem, can you please release my nephew?
Luna pleaded, to which Salem did without question. Auntie Luna, this foul curtain has struck me and threatened my life. Assault on nobility is punishable offense by life banishment to the moon. Blueblood whined, to which Luna stared at her nephew before looking at Salem. The two stared for a moment, while Blueblood smirked towards Salem, thinking that he had won, but was quickly proven wrong when Luna grabbed the prince's ear and pulled him away.
Apologies for the disturbance, every pony. Please enjoy the party.
Ow, 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 ow! Auntie, you are hurting me! Watching Blueblood be taken away, Salem couldn't help but to stop himself chuckling, before quietly laughing. Milo grabbed his attention, causing him to turn towards his female companion. He pointed to the dance floor while many couples danced. Milo, you know I'm no good at dancing.
Please.
Milo signed, her hands together, while playing with Salem's heartstrings with something she knew he couldn't say no to. Puppy dog eyes. Alright, you win. Salem smiled behind his mask, while Milo clapped with her tail wagging at his change of heart. Guiding him to the dance floor, Milo held out her hand for Salem to take, while the Chimera gave a bow peer to take her hand, and began to follow the nobles who were already dancing. A step forward, a step back, and repeat the two slow danced while looking at each other. Milo tilted her head in a happy manner, while Salem felt his smile grow. Better dancing to live music than recorded. Milo nodded, while Salem mirrored her action with a head tilt of his own. Glad to hear. While dancing, the two felt so entranced in their waltz, not hearing the music change silently. Luna was right. This party was just the right thing to help him relax. Yes, there was stuff that had happened in the past few days that was out of his control, but this moment was happening right now. A moment with someone he cared about. Dancing to the vocals of the song, Salem looked towards Milo, enjoying the dance, while staring into each other's eyes. Not noticing their dance had stopped. Not noticing the weird feeling that made them feel dizzy. Not like they cared about it. The music was so hypnotic. It was a beautiful melody that made them want to fall into it forever. Warning. Mimetic hazard detected. Identifying mimetic hazard. Mimetic hazard identified. Class 3 SIR type mimetic hazard identified. User's cyber neural network has been compromised. Preparing mimetic counteragent. Applying mimetic counteragent in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Salem's eyes shot up as the sound of loud music slapped him in the face, both figuratively and literally. Reaching for the back of his head, thinking he had fallen asleep with his helmet on again, and set an alarm, but froze upon his brain snapping out of his trance. Spotting every pony standing around him with blank looks behind their masks, slowly he walked forward. The music was literally deafening him to the danger that was causing this. Even his friends, the elements were in such a state, almost as if the music in his ears was so freaking loud in his head, but his inner voice groaned in despair.
Oh, come on. When can I get a break for once?
A relatively quick chapter this time, but the next chapter is a little longer. Also, it's an interesting story beat, the fact that all original equestrians were basically forced back through the portal. Sirens, sunset. So I wonder what happened there. We haven't yet gotten a story on what exactly happened to the original portal. But, speculation aside, I would like to thank my wonderful Patreons. Thank you, Squall, Windfeather, Rainflicker, Starlight Blaze, Dreamless Portal, and Redeemer of Dark. Chase Lemaster, Sword Brother and Mordred, Danish Dash, Night and Game, DJ Mix 2000, Endless, Solus, RD Bryant, Captain Blueshadow, Nocturne, the requester of this series, HKH4 aka Texture, the Animated Ghost, and Can Panzer. And of course a large thank you to my Titan tiers, Dark Guardian, Mavrick, and Silent Titan. I appreciate you guys' support so much and it means a ton to me. That aside, however, this has been Firehearth. Have a wonderful day.